the virtual background.
So,
Done.
done. Start. Good evening, everyone. So, here we are for the 10th session of NEP Series 2020. Today, we have been successful for the 10 days of amazing series of NEP discussions and informative and insightful experiences with all the eminent educators present over here. The stamina, the power, and the positivity that they have shown in being true participants as speakers is really to be applauded for. So today, let us talk a session with eminent speakers and a wonderful topic that we have today is holistic and multidisciplinary education. So before I start the session, I would like to introduce my first speaker, that is Dr. Mary Mia. Dr. Marine Mia, are you there? Marine ma'am, are you there? Is Marine ma'am there? I think she hasn't joined yet. I think she hasn't joined. Okay, so we have a second speaker over here. I will be introducing Rachna Chakrabarti ma'am. Rachna Chakrabarti ma'am, she is a committed senior lecturer with over 26 years of experience at leading academic institutions, teaching students from various social and cultural backgrounds. She possesses excellent administrative, verbal communication, and written skills, along with constructive and effective teaching methods that promote a stimulating learning environment. An author, international speaker, counselor, social activist, and founder of CBMD and CWMA organizations, which work for the emotional empowerment. She is appointed as the Deputy Chief Moderator for Maharashtra State Board in the year 2022. Also co-authored textbooks for Maharashtra State Board as per the NEP. She has received national and international awards for her contribution in the field of education. Some of them are Best Writer Award for Mom Presto in the year 2017. Noble Asian of the Year Award for Philanthropic Work in the year 2018. Founder and mentor of two organizations, CBMD and CWMA, which work to give emotional empowerment to mothers and daughters and provides them with a non-judgmental platform to showcase their talent. That is 2018. She has conducted several smile missions with her beautiful smile on screen also and have empowered around 100 plus mothers and daughters. Indian star icon for education and social work in the year 2019. World PhD Chakra Award for spreading health awareness in the year 2019. Best Orator Award by Mahapur Chasak Mahanagar Palika. Teacher Innovation Award for implementation of educational initiatives in the year 2019. 51st Most Influential Women Award for services to education and social work in the year. And I think there are a list of multiple awards, and I will rather call as a multi-awardee. So salute to you, ma'am, for empowering the global human race with your wonderful experiences, enrichment, and learning sessions. Privileged to have you, and welcome on the board on session number 19 today. I take this privilege to welcome you.
Thank you so much, Sonal ma'am. It's really an honor, and thank you. I think you made it more elaborate. I'm just trying to do my part of work for being alive in this whole universe. So we all should make a little bit of difference, just a grain of sand, if possible. So I'm trying to do my part for little change in the universe, just a drop. And there are many people which I come across, especially you, with so much of positive blending in you. And this is really amazing to see you every day with that same positive note, neither, getting down, always on the higher side. So it's really very, very nice to see you. And of course, I've seen Principal Dr. Bekat Ram, sir, also always. So thank you so much. And of course, our very own Imam ma'am is always there to share her views every day. And it's really nice to see all of you behind. Success cannot come together with one person. It is a joint venture. So whenever we make a success, there are many people behind. Similarly, my team is also working behind me. And as a result, whether it's my family members or whether it's my team, everyone together, we share the success. So thank you so much, Sonal ma'am. And on that note, today, good evening, good morning, from every part of the world, whoever has joined us. Once again, today, we will be talking about a very, very important topic, that is holistic and multidisciplinary higher education, NEP 2020. So here, this is again another very important part which NEP discusses. I would prefer to talk from NEP's point of view only, because I too am a part of the board directors, and we are working for this holistic and multidisciplinary higher education, wherein we seek that the education should be given to all the persons, all the students, so that they can inculcate all the qualities in from their basic or their initial age. So that was the main aim for NEP. It was framed out in 2020, and it will continue to the betterment for this NEPs. So, with that, I would like to start that in higher education, there are some points. In point number 11.2 in the chapter number, if you see in NEP, 11.1 to 11 to 12, in higher education discusses totally about a more holistic and multidisciplinary education. So I will be talking in details from NEP. And this a holistic and a multidisciplinary education would aim to develop all the capacities of human beings: intellectual, aesthetic, social, physical, emotional, and moral in an integrated manner. The keywords mainly focuses on holistic, multidisciplinary, learning, scientific, vocational, soft skills, professional, knowledge of many arts, and multidisciplinary education, STEM. So these are the main factors wherein we are working at. And India has a long tradition of holistic and multidisciplinary learning, from the universities such as Takshila and Nalanda to the great extensive literatures of India, combining the subjects across all the various fields. Ancient Indian literary works such as the Banabhatta's Kadambari has also described the good education as the knowledge of the 64 kalas, which we all know, or the arts. And among the 64 arts were not only the subjects such as singing and painting, but also the scientific fields such as chemistry, maths, vocational fields such as the carpentry, cloth making, professional fields such as medicine, engineering, as well as the soft skills such as communication, discussion, and debate. So, the very idea that all these branches of creative human endeavor, including math, science, and vocational subjects, or professional subjects and soft skills, should be considered as arts as distinctly Indian origin. So we obviously in India are following this, but it was never recognized. we were into the method of gaining that field, but NEP has decided that we will be actually discussing about the education structure, which is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Pattern will be followed, and it will be as per the stages: the foundational stage, then 3 years of preschool, and 2 years of class first and the second. So this is the main structure which has to be followed, along with the holistic approach of the system of education, wherein we will inculcate all the 64 colors, if not all the 64s, but at least few of them where the children wants to develop. So this is the main basic idea of all the branches of creative human endeavor. And they have also said that the knowledge of many arts, or what in modern times is often called the liberal arts, that is the notion of the arts, which we can give it as a freedom also, must be brought back to the Indian education, as it is exactly the kind of education that will be required for the 21st century. The holistic, multidisciplinary education system, STEM. So this is very, very important now. And if we cannot inculcate all these arts in our education system, we will be failing somewhere. So this multidisciplinary system focuses on these areas also. Already many schools have started with this, and the assessments also is very important, clubbing with the 64 colors which we have. Out of that, the assessments of the educational approaches in the undergraduate education that integrate the humanities and the arts with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics have consistently showed a positive learning outcome. So that is why this has been inculcated actually. So if you see that why the results have been increasing year wise, it is because of the system which we have inculcated, especially after the 10 plus. The education system has started giving a variety or diverse combination wherein a child is allowed to select their subjects. So that is why we can see the results also increasing. So this is very important. Critical thinking and higher order thinking capacities, problem solving abilities, teamwork, communication skills, more in-depth learning and mastery over the curricula across the fields increases in the social and moral awareness, etc. Besides the general engagement and enjoyment of learning. Research is also improved and enhanced through a holistic and multidisciplinary education approach. So basically, the chapter number 11.3 and 11.4 talks about the holistic and multidisciplinary educational approach, which helps in developing and bringing about a well-rounded individuals that possesses the critical 21st century capacity. So the holistic disciplinary education would aim mainly to bring around the development in all capacities of human beings, being intellectual, aesthetic, social, physical, emotional, and moral in an integrated manner, such that in an education will help develop the well-rounded individuals that possesses critical 21st century capacities in fields across the arts, humanities, languages, sciences, social sciences, and professional, technical, and vocational fields, and ethic of social engagement, soft skills such as communication, discussion, and debate, rigorous specialization in a chosen field, such as this education can be termed in the long term as the holistic education. And if we can do that, the approach of all the undergraduate programs, including those in the professional and the technical vocational disciplinaries, will be possible. If not, it will become a little difficult. So, in order to get the National Accreditation Council to has added up on it, that is NAC, that we need to have the self disclosure on good governance and outcomes, and it will be carried out by the Indian independent ecosystem of accrediting the institutions. So all the plans that is made by the institutional development plans will attain the highest level of accreditation over the next 15 years to come, and thereby eventually by 2020 we will get a different education system, the self-governing degree granting institute clusters, wherein HEGC, that is Higher Education Grants Council, will also carry out the funding and financing of the higher education. Because there are many institutes which will be coming up in the forthcoming years, as well as it has already come up after the pandemic too, we have seen. So these institutes now need funding, which the government is ready to give, provided there are certain criteria which they need to follow or they need to be accredited according to that. The HEGC will be entrusted with the disbursement of scholarships and development funds. So this is very, very important, which we need is working on it. Then the GEC, that is the General Education Council, will also frame the expected learning outcomes for this higher education. So these councils, what are they doing? Their main objective is to bring around a holistic education development. And the main motto is that everyone has the right to education. We cannot forget the goal which is there also in SDG, which was framed for the 2030, that to bring around quality education. So we can do it with the help together, joining hands. As I said, it's a collaboration, the age of collaboration. So NEP together with the SDG can work together for a holistic approach, and the education can move on to a different level. The General Education Council will be mandated to identify the specific skills that each student possesses and must acquire during their academic programs. So if we can do that, excuse me, if we can bring around that statistics or the strategic development in a child and motivate a child to develop further, this will enhance the learning procedure to of every child. So with that intention, NEP is moving forward and making the changes deliberately, not only in the school level or the preschool level, but also in the higher education level also, wherein we find that the education system has changed quite a lot. And in the coming year, forthcoming year, we will see the further changes done by the NEP. So with that, I would be waiting to listen to my other eminent speakers who have joined in today. I have shared my thoughts about NEPs around the holistic and multidisciplinary education. But now I would be waiting to listen to my other.
I will just add some little bit of garnishing on what other dish that you have all given us. So before I present you to introduce the other speaker, I think we all have got our honeycombs were empty. We wanted honey to be there. So the queen bee has given us the honey that is needed to be added. And with all the practical approaches, and now the nectar and the honeybee and everything is collaborating together to create a wonderful honeycomb of any NEP. So you have covered up the hot thinking skills. You have covered the practical approaches. You being the center point of what is happening and making us all aware of what approaches are being taken, what collaboration is being done. So thanks to you for making us all aware on the practical approach measures and all the skills that you need. And just one more thing I wanted to ask you, ma'am, is what is exactly the meaning of holistic? What is exactly? Because most of the educators are not well versed with what is holistic actually.
Holistic means the overall, we talk about only one pointer. We want in holistic the overall development. That is very, very approachable, collecting all the points together and giving it in a package. It is not that we are working for one thing.
One
We
thing.
need to develop everything together, and then we can make the child educated. So that is
In short form, it is overall development of the child to become lifelong learners. So that is covering the values, the skills, the culture, and along with the academic performances. So wonderful to hear you as from the mother queen and the mother bee herself. Thank you so much, ma'am. You can take the privilege to introduce Iman, ma'am. She will give us some more insight. If
Yes.
you have the profile, ma'am.
Yes, yes, I have. Thank you so much, Sonal ma'am, for that wonderful add-ons. And I really love always your add-ons when you do that.
I take it from I speak from my heart, ma'am. There is nothing to be very fake. I really speak from my heart because a lot has been missing, a lot is not there in the NEP. We have been discussing, but we all are creating a wonderful collaborating journey to pull out the inner hidden things of the NEP, how we can do it, how we can remove extract the honey from the flower and add it on the honeycomb. That is the NEP policy. So drop by drop, the honeycomb will be filled with the honey. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
true, true. And it's really wonderful to listen to, people who are really aware of the NEP. Because
Yeah,
right now, even though we have moved quite ahead, 2017, 2018, we have seen so many development coming up, but still there are many people who are unaware of the real policies of NEP. So the
yeah.
platforms like this, like IDYM, they have been providing where we are deliberating and speaking about all the policies of NEP so that we can bring around this holistic change, which you are talking about, the
Mm.
holistic development, which we all need to do. And if we deliberate and talk with educators who have been completely into this field for quite a lot of time,
Right, right, right.
and the change they want to see it, we always say, be the change you want to see. So
Definitely,
if
definitely.
we can bring that change ourselves, then surely we can have that holistic multidisciplinary
इसीलिए
action.
इसीलिए कहते हैं ना, रुक जाना नहीं तू कहीं हार के, कांटों पे चलकर मिलेंगे साए बाहर के, तो हम चल रहे हैं कांटों पे, मिलेगी मंजिल
Yes.
ऊपर।
चलते रहना है कारवा अभी आगे बहुत बाकी है.
बिल्कुल
That is the main aim of NEP. And with that note, I would like to invite another very eminent speaker today on our platform, Ambassador Dr. Imam Abdul Saima. I hope I pronounced your name, ma'am, properly.
ईमान ईमान हाँ.
Yeah, obviously, I always know her as Iman ma'am, but I think for the first time I'm reading her full name, and she is the real force behind NEP, and we can see her in mostly all of the sessions, sharing her viewpoint and her objective behind the NEP's development. So she is a lecturer at Botany and Microbiology Department, Faculty of Science, the Al Azhar University, Cairo, Egypt, the Global Ambassador of Climate Change, Global Awareness for Development Initiative, Abuja, Nigeria, an Ambassador of Peace of IDYM TIP, India, the Vice President of Biosciences Research Support Foundation. Dr. Alam is a dedicated lecturer and a highly skilled researcher and a trainer of trainers, trained various science related subjects at undergraduate, postgraduate, doctoral, and postdoctoral levels with a special interest in phytochemistry, plant psychology, especially the green and pharmaceutical biotechnology. She has got her MSc and PhD thesis in plant psychology as well as production improvement of secondary metabolics from the wild medicinal plants using tissue culture techniques and biological evaluations of this secondary metabolics and treatment of many human dangerous disease. This point in her first scientific interest. So this is really wonderful, ma'am, because nowadays we are all talking about plants. The green revolution is very important. We need to grow a plant every time because we are not allowed to take in oxygen if you cannot contribute and build up your own oxygen. So, and you are working on that, and it's really a pleasure to listen to you, ma'am, talking about your educational achievements. There is numerous achievements of ma'am, and if I keep on starting her achievements in the field of education, she has done a tremendous, you can say, contribution in the field of education. Papers for science and department of the biological and the development of botany, it's numerous. I can keep on speaking for hours together about Imam ma'am. But before doing that, I would hand over the mic and I would request her to speak about NEP's holistic multidisciplinary education. So over to you, Iman, ma'am. The virtual mic is all yours.
Hello, my dear sister. Thank you very much. I am very thankful and grateful to your great introduction. And every time I am saying any thing you are saying, and my Indian colleagues are saying it's only a base of their thoughtfulness and their politeness. So thanks a lot for you, and thanks a lot for Sunil ma'am, because she is with Buja ma'am, are affording a lot to handle this great program. Appreciation to IDYM platform. Ravi sir, you did a great things for all of us. You did many things, so all of us are appreciating you and respecting you a lot. Miss Donnell, our white angle behind the camera, also we are appreciating your efforts. Appreciation to all colleagues and all attendees. I am very happy to be with you today. Welcome, Dr. Pitkar, Dr. Preti, and welcome all colleagues. Today we will discuss together the issue of holistic multidisciplinary education. We are talking about that the person is the best educator and the best learner for him or herself. To be honest, no one can educate or learn others unless we have ourselves to learn and educate others. So we are talking about how to make ourselves well educated and well learned. Today, we are talking about multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary. Today, I will not share any screen. I will not share any PPT because I need to be in an open discussion. Just I wanted to share with you some of my personal experience related to this issue. Regarding myself, I was graduated from Faculty of Science about, I don't like to say how many years, 20 years. I have my PhD, as you know, in science, botany, especially phytochemistry, in correlation with green biotechnology and pharmaceutical biotechnology. But this is not the end of the story. Thank you. This is not the end of the story. All of us are, allow me to close the mic. Yes. This is not the end of the story. Story is not ended by carrying PhDs. Our story can start at any time and can end at any time according to what we are doing in our life. I have got my BSc, as I said before, 20 years ago. In the area of botany, I was graduated from Al-Azhar University by excellence with honor degree. I am the second. I am not the first at that time. I hope there are youth around us can hear me carefully. I am not the first. However, generally I am the first, but last year I am the second. I am not the, and the grades are not accumulative at that time. So I started my life in research work for 10 years. I am working as a researcher. Then I worked as a academic staff member. So I have some steps behind because I need to start my academic work. So I came as researcher, then academic person. So I need to return back many years. No upgrade. Sorry, I didn't upgrade at the time. My colleagues are calling me, you are upgrading but behind. Something like a joke. I returned back about 10 years of experience. But I said to myself, no way. Every time we can do good things to others. I visited India about 10 years ago. I learned a lot from India. I'm in love with Indian education, to be honest, especially Indian education. So I said to myself, I can, as some colleagues, I saw some of them entering any classroom. All the students are standing with love, not only appreciation or respect, but with love. I said to myself, I must be educator. I can't be only academic staff member. I must be real educator. I must educate my students from the heart. For this reason, I worked on myself to be a good academic and a good researcher. The reason of this point, during attending one Indian conference, I'm not academic at this time. I am not academic staff member. I was a researcher, but they said to me, the best researcher must be best educator. So I have got this advice. So being a researcher, being academic, we are running in the same circle. You can't separate the research work from the education. So I decided to complete my life as an educator and also as a student. I am a student till the moment and till the end of my life. I studied law and I graduated from Faculty of Law, Cairo University. After getting my PhD, and during some sad days and some sad years, I said to myself, I must change my life. So I decided to study the law. After finishing studying the law, I studied MSc in IBR. I studied intellectual property rights. I am now finishing the thesis. Already I have got excellent grades in IBR from Faculty of Intellectual Properties in Hilwan University. I worked on myself. Also, I said to myself, I need to be a good educator. So I studied psychology to be a good educator with my students. So I am educating by love. For this reason, I completed my academic life. However, I am not happy. Firstly, I am not happy because I am pushing to be behind. I was pushed to be behind. But I said to myself, no one can make you behind. If you want yourself to be at the top, you will be if you want. So I decided to be a good educator. And also I traveled a lot. I visited India 3 times because India is my love. So I visited India 3 times as the chief guest speaker. And I have got a lot of Indian awards in the area of education because I am engaged in all Indian platforms related to education because I am in love with education. I said to myself, I need to be principal of a university. However, I'm returning behind, but I said to myself, nothing called impossible. We can do anything. So I'm trying to work on myself to learn many multidisciplinary things. I have a belief that we need to be interdisciplinary person, not only studying interdisciplinary specializations, but ourselves must be interdisciplinary. In our faculty, they educated us, learn one thing about everything and learn all things about one thing. So we need to be specialized in one point. I'm focusing on biotechnology and phytochemistry. However, I have background on law. My MSc now is about IBR as a comparative study between developing and developed countries regarding IBR. I'm trying to distribute awareness how to appreciate IBR. I am also trying to improve research skills of students. I established one Egyptian platform. However, also I am vice president of another African platform. I'm trying to improve research skills of students. So we need to work on soft skills. We need to work on making a second row. It's not by improving yourself alone. You are not alone in this group. We need to work for others. So my CV is full of volunteering work. Some people are saying you are distributing your life for nothing, but I am very happy. I am satisfied now because I gave myself to the science. So I appreciate myself. I appreciate what I did. So appreciation to all of you. Let's be focused on multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary. I wanted today to introduce one example of inter and multidisciplinary. Multidisciplinary. I think it's practical life, not practical example. So I studied science. I studied law. I studied psychology. Some days I was called to be engaged in a program. This program for the activation of students. This lecture also for activation of students and improvement of research skills and so on. This program is not active, is very, very inert. I decided to work with my students. I changed it to be brilliant and to be excellent, and they are interested in it. I changed the situation on land. So as I said before, quality assurance and accreditation and many things must be not on paper. We must have excellent education on land. And achieving excellent education, I saw India is a good example in this regard because I can see a student smile. I'm talking to my students. If I'll see your face looking like sad people, so it's a failure of me. So keeping your students smiling, educating them soft skills, participating with them in creating futures. So we are talking about real leaderships. We have many successful people, but achieving for yourself is nothing. Is nothing. You need to achieve for others. You need to be engaged in any change. If you can't achieve this in your country, you can achieve it in the globe. Here in Egypt, I'm talking to them. I'll be engaged in NAB, it's Indian. They are saying, what about Egypt? I'm saying, I can do anything anywhere. It's a globe. So if I can't do this change here, I can do it there. So let's think on our globe. Don't say I'm Egyptian, don't say I'm Indian, but say I am human being. So we must appreciate. We came here at IDYM from different religions, different cultures, different countries, but we are in a big family. For this reason, I am here. If I am feeling that I am not a person in this family, I leave, I'll withdraw myself. So please, try to achieve many things for others. Don't think only about yourself. I said to myself one day, however, we are struggling in academic works. Sometimes we are not finding ourselves. Sometimes we are feeling unfair. Sometimes maybe corruption, many problems. But if you have a message, you will afford many things. You will be the change. Some of my students are calling me Dr. Iman University. They are considering me whole university. So you can be not only one. If you have many tasks to be done, you can be as group. You can divide yourself to be a group. This is what I said to myself. I need to be the change. No one can change you. no one able to make you moving towards the failure. No one can do. No one can do. You can move yourself towards success. However, you are struggling with many things, but you will be the change. So let's appreciate the word multidisciplinary, because I think nothing will be changed without focusing on multidisciplinary. Yesterday, we talked about multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary. We are talking about how to move education to be the best. I don't give any attention regarding the best education will be Egyptian or Indian. It must be human beings. When you are here, it's your place. When you are in India, so it's your place. You must do good things. You must achieve many successful things, and you must do your best. It doesn't matter you are in any place. I am here, for example, in a conference. It's not Egyptian, but it's my place because I am inside it. I am a member in this platform, so I must appreciate. I must do my best. So let's create second generations. Let's work on their soft skills. I'm educating and learning my students science and diplomacy. Some of my colleagues are saying you are doing nothing. What is science and diplomacy? I'm saying no. You can't separate science from diplomacy. Some people are doing bad things, so they are not good to be a figure in any platform. However, they have good knowledge. It's not only by knowledge. It's because knowledge already in books, science in books. But you need to be a book, a movable book. Your behavior. What people are looking to you are saying this is a good person. So this is the science and the diplomacy. I'm talking also with them about how to improve your skills in scientific writing. I'm starting with kids. However, I am as the sector of higher education, but I'm talking with kids. I'm transferring myself to schools to talk with kids because the future will come from them. Some people are saying it's not suitable to talk with kids about scientific writing, about alphabets of scientific writing. I prepared a book. It's alphabet of scientific writings, and I'm going to make it as a gift to India to be educated in different levels of education because it's highly required to know alphabets of scientific writing, ethics of participation in conferences, forms of participation. We have many problems related to non-diplomatic people because they are not good figures to their places. So depending on behavior, ethics, soft skills, being multidisciplinary educators, you need to book to be a movable book. You need to be as book. Have many chapters. Now I have chapter for science. I have chapter for law. I have another chapter for IBR. I have another chapter for psychology because I learned psychology because I need to be a good educator. I need to deal in a good way with my students. You can be a good listener, but if you are not specialized in this point, maybe you are doing bad things. You don't know because there is no experience with the psychology of a student. I need to say, as an educator, we are not dealing with woods. We are dealing with trees. We are dealing with seeds. So the first program I attended here with IDYM, this program named, I think, Seed Talks. Is it right? Am I right? Seed Talks. So we are talking about trees. We are talking about leaders. So let's focus on soft skills, ethics. We need to know acceptance on land, not by words. All people are ambassadors of peace, ambassadors of diplomacy, ambassadors of many things. For example, today I am ambassador again of peace by IDYM. But practically, we need to be ambassador of humanities, because all of us are human beings. We are walking not on legs, we are walking on our hearts. So maybe we can be damaged by only one word. If we are sensitive people, maybe one word will destroy us and another word will build us. So we need to go to strong build of our generations, not to be weak, but to be multidisciplinary, to be leaders, to be holistic, to depend on themselves. I am teaching to my students, you must be leaders. Don't be shy. You are doing good things. You are trying to present. Some of them can't present lectures, and I'm trying to dissolve a stone. I'm trying to learn and educate them presentation skills, how to talk about yourself. So let's move towards the future. Let's focus on NAB. NAB not only in India, but all over the globe. We need to distribute it all over the globe. I'm trying to transfer these trials to Egypt. We need, all of us are in a real need to have a policy and to work using this policy on land, not on paper, on land. We need to apply everything to be applicable. So appreciation to all of you. I'm very happy to be with you today. It's my first time to talk personally, but I'm very happy to transfer this personal experience. I need to say everything can be good and everything can be bad, but you are using it. How you can use it? We need to ask ourselves. If you have little material, but you have your mind, so you can do many achievements. So the success is achieving many things by using few and the little and the small things. Appreciation to all of you. I'm very happy to be with you today. Today I talked personally without showing any PowerPoints. I hope I can deliver my message. So we are educators, so thank you, my dear sister. You are educators, so you are messengers. However your religion, however your country, however your nation, you are messenger. So you have a responsibility. So if you can carry this responsibility very well, all of people are remembering you and will appreciate you. Sometimes by chance I can meet some students. They are listening to my presentations anyway. They are saying, we know you. You added something to our life. This is a great achievement in your life. Nothing else. Carrying degrees, okay. Already we have millions of people carrying a degree. We have some of them carrying fake degrees and some of them carrying real degrees. Some of them carrying a PhD, some of them carrying doctorate, honorary doctorate. Some of them carrying diplomas are calling them doctors. Others didn't carry anything and are calling them doctors. I'm saying to myself sometimes, I'm the only one who is not a doctor. Because we need to die as students. We need to die as students. So keeping learning and keeping educating yourself is the best thing you can do for yourself. Thanks a lot. Appreciation to all of you. And I am very happy to be with you today. Thanks again.
Wonderful, Iman ma'am. Wonderful. I think the way you spoke about the holistic, and one thing we all Indians will salute you because you're doing the namaskar shows your holistic education. Very few have that guts to respect the Indian culture because we women respect people who join the hands, and that shows a mark of respect. And that is the first education culture that is seen. It's not about degrees, it's not about papers, it's not about doctorate. It's the overall way you conduct yourself in front of so many people, in front of whether you are a multimillionaire, whether you are a person who is just a community helper, your respect towards them shows your holistic education. So it's a kind of IDYM is actually creating culture education, joining countries together, blending with each and every education system. That is called as culture education, which is lacking, which we all are here for NEP discussion over here to blend the cultures, to create a wonderful learning culture that we can pass on to the children also through our academic learnings, the way we teach and how we can blend in the academic lessons also from a 3-year-old to a 20-year-old. Because once the child enters into college, the whole holistic development of the 16 years gets washed down under the drain. So we have to see that we incorporate these kind of holistic channels year by year in different ways by the time the child is ready to fight life outside of school. Because that is the real test of life. The academic tests are not going to count. How he fights the test in life is more about what holistic education he has got. So I think, Rashna ma'am, you can throw a little light on this.
Yes, yes, it is very important that we all know about the cultural and the traditional aspect also, which you said. When I talk about holistic, so this is what is holistic actually. We need an overall development, as Imam Ma'am had shared her experience in her process of learning, what she had learned, and that is more important to be holistic. When we are holistic, we are always going to respect everyone's culture. As Imam Ma'am also said, that we should not be recognized as we are from Egypt or from India or from anywhere. So it should be an education wherein our main objective is to educate the younger generation. And whoever wants to be educated, we need to impart that. That is what is called the holistic and the multidisciplinary action, which we are planning at. The rules and regulation, that is different altogether. That's a different phase. But the first important thing is to get united first and respect each other as a human which we are. As Imam Muhammad also quoted that we should be respected as a human being. So that is very important. We are forgetting somewhere in the race of getting somewhere, we are forgetting all the roots, which is very important for education. The roots of learning, the roots of bonding together. Today, we might have become very great educators. We might have become a lot of position holders, rank holders with a lot of degrees, which many of us might not be knowing also, but so many degrees attached to a name. But are we really that well in our approach? So thank you, Imam ma'am. I think she has given a really very holistic approach. Again, I would say the word that she has tried to bring us back to our roots. That it is very important to be known with your qualities, not with from where you belong or what you are doing. It is your knowledge that will get connected from one soul to another soul.
Definitely.
That is what is holistic actually. So thank you so
That is
much.
that is why they say the real edu warriors have a lot learnings in them. It's not about just calling the educators for academic discussions. We need to call educators for their life journeys, how they have overcome along with academic achievements. Because it might not have been easy for them, how they have achieved, how they have gone through the challenges in life, and how they have overcome in acquiring a degree or a doctorate. That is going to count as a holistic multidisciplinary approach along with the academics. I think if I'm right, because that is what I always impart my students also through academics.
Yes, very Sonal ma'am. That is what is the main intention of holistic and multidisciplinary. So we
Definitely.
need to share our feelings and our approaches also, which will give a different perspective to the education forums which we are discussing today.
Very good.
So,
Thank you, Iman ma'am. Thank you for your wonderful journey. And it was really a real learning experience through your experiences. Thank you so much. We salute you as a mark of respect for
Thank you.
all of us on behalf of all the IDYM team members. So I would like you to invite Preeti ma'am. I have given you the profile. Can you please invite her, Iman ma'am? Or should I take the courtesy to invite ma'am? I have given you the profile.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I can.
Thank you so
I
much.
can. Don't worry. So please send the profile via WhatsApp.
I've sent you. Yeah.
But because today I thought that I am the last, so I didn't ask about the
No, actually,
profile.
Marine ma'am is not there, no. So she will be the third person. Marine ma'am is not there on the talks.
Okay, okay. Please send it. I can
I've
introduce.
sent
I
you. I've
am
sent you,
here.
ma'am.
I am here, ma'am.
Erin ma'am is-
Marine ma'am is there.
yeah, she has joined. She has joined.
Okay, Iman ma'am, can you
Yes,
invite
yes.
her, or should I take the
Yes.
privilege to
Okay.
invite her?
Okay. Okay. I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
invite Meher.
Thank you so much.
Only give me just 1 minute. I am here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we need to introduce our great sister, Prof. Mehreen. She is Ambassador Prof. Mehreen. She is Indian from West Africa. Let's welcome Prof. Mehreen. Are you here? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. I am here.
Prof.
I am here,
Ambassador
Sister Iman.
Mehreen.
Can you
We are wishing you a speedy recovery. We are very grateful because you attended, however, everything. And this is the soul of a scientist. So, from myself, I need to say we are grateful and thankful to you because you are sticking to the time, however, everything. So, appreciation. And I need to say, as my dear sister, salute to you. Now let's talk about our great sister, Prof. Dr. Mehreen. She is HE Prof. Dr. HC Ambassador Mehreen Mia. Her country, as I said before, is South Africa, but I think she is from India. She has Indian roots. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, appreciation. So she is Prof. Doctor in Humanities, Education and Humanities. She is also a Global Goodwill Ambassador from United Nations, USA. She is President of Success World Academy, abbreviated by SA. And she is president of Shilapreco International Woman Council. Also, she is global base ambassador, and she is professor of education and global ambassador. She has multiple global awards, including one of the top 30 women. Congratulations, my dear sister. You are deserving all the best. She is one of the top 30 women leading the change, and awardee also entering the Women's Hall of Fame at UK. Country wait please, because now I need to work as a host, so I think one mic is open. No. Okay, let's return to moderator again. She is a global educator, and also she has engaged in many platforms like IDYM, IIU, GEN, and GEF, and mashallah, a lot of platforms. All platforms are appreciating you, my dear sister. She is the founder of MEA company. Also, she is life coach. She is a transformational international life coach, and also she is a therapist and mindfulness and holistic empower specialist and lifelong learner and She is great human being. So appreciation and salute to you, my dear sister. Let's hear from her side. I know you are great, and please continue. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and universal greeting and peace and blessings to everybody today. I am so honored to be part of the platform, and I am sorry that the video will not be on because I do not. I think everybody does. I did let Sonal ma'am, etc., know my condition at the moment. It's not a very good one, but I do want to share still a little bit of knowledge. So I do
Don't worry.
apologize that the video will not be on. But let me just share quickly my words. And I have to say, after listening to my lovely sister, Dr. Rashna, to Sonal ma'am, and to yourself, Sister Iman, what I have to say is minute, it's just small, but it's just a little bit. And I think one thing that we all need to realize and learn is that we will all be learning every day. None of us know everything. We will always be learning every day. And as we keep learning, we will keep be able to give. So thank you so much to IDYM for this platform. Thank you for the opportunity to talk, albeit under these conditions. Um, Today's topic is something very, very close to my heart because education is something I'm very passionate about. And especially because we're talking today about holistic, multidisciplinary education. And I relate so much to all three of those dimensions because I remember at one point I was in matric and I had to decide what I wanted to do. And I decided that I will do. Can you please just hold for me a second? Welcome to Simplex Radio. Our showroom for the full range of Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you can continue if you are in a good state, ma'am.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry about
It's
this.
okay, ma'am. No problem.
Yes. Okay. So, yes, what I was trying to say was, why this is very close to my heart is because I remember I was in matric, and I remember then, of course, we have to choose the courses we wish to do, what you want to study, what you want to become, and especially in our culture, we always want to be people pleasing. We want everybody to be proud of us, mom and dad to be proud, the family to be proud, etc. So I opted to do law. I went to university to do this. And I was just not satisfied. I was not feeling happy within myself with sitting behind that desk and doing the stuff simply because the law society will tell me that has to be done in that way. Because my mind as to how I should be helping somebody legally was not what the legal society wanted me to do. As a result, I believe my creator heard my plea, but I had a massive accident. And at that point, I decided, I was left there paralyzed on a bed for 7 months, where they said I'll never walk again. And the only thing working for me then was my mind. And I got to thinking, just hold on a second. Is this what's going to be my life? Is this what's going to be what I'm about? And then I started to feel different. I started to think differently. And then it became more of a mind game as opposed to a medical game for me as I lay there on that bed. And that's when I started to figure out there is something within each one of us that allows for us to heal, that allows for us to grow, that you have the potential within yourself and it's up to you. But it starts with education and it starts with awareness. I became aware of these factors within myself and I started to develop this within me mentally. And alhamdulillah, by my God's creation, by his mercy, today I walk. When they said to me, I will never walk again, they said I won't be able to have a child. I'm a mother today. So I'm not defying medication, but I am saying that a lot of the power rests within you and what you wish to do with yourself, about yourself. So when we talk holistic, we're talking about you as a whole, you within yourself. So just that word alone has so much of power in it. We need to realize that for each one of us, first as an individual, then only as the educator or the parent to the child. When you talk about multidisciplinary, I can so relate to my sister who spoke just now because I have a facet. So I have 4 different disciplinaries between psychology, between education, and between law. It's just it's just been me. There's just always going to be something more I want to learn because there's something more I wish to give, not because of just me. So having multiple certificates on your wall or multiple things on your stature is not what is important. What is key and crucial is what you are giving back with the education you are receiving and giving back to grow humanity. This is what holistic disciplinary education is about. So before we talk about how to teach our children, how to be holistic and how to teach them with the multidiscipline education systems, we need to understand firstly, how does it affect us as people? Because that educator, that teacher is an individual before anything else. And I always say, and I will say this continuously, throughout this virus, from the time it began 2.5 to 3 years ago, our frontliners, yes, we give credit to the army, we give credit to the police, we give credit to doctors and nurses, etc. But for me personally, and it's not because I'm an educator today, back then I was not one, I was still studying to be one, that I really, really honestly believe within my heart, our frontliners were our educators, our teachers, and our children, because they had to merely make do. Our teachers were given suddenly roles of not just being an educator in a classroom. Our teachers suddenly had to become a doctor. They had to become the psychologist or the psychiatrist. The teacher had to suddenly become the police person, officer who made sure certain things were done. Over and above that, still making sure criteria of our syllabus was being met. Is that not somebody who had to be multidisciplined overnight? And that too, without knowing exactly when are they going to be going to back to school, when are they not going to be back to school. So I always say this, we had the pandemic of this virus, yes, but we had four other pandemics together with it. We had the pandemic of hunger, the pandemic of poverty, the pandemic of mental health issues, and we had the pandemic of educational facilities that were dropping. And we focused so much, governments all over the world focused so much on that pandemic of the virus that we forgot that the other four were really contributing so much to the lack of education, the lack of our self development, the lack of our children's growth mentally. I'm not talking about academia now. We need to realize if there's one thing we have to have learned in the past couple years is when you are lying there, when you are somebody who is ailing, there are other things that the universe is teaching you to appreciate. One of them is the system of education, how your mental health contributes towards that. And our children really, really go through so much. If there's one thing that I have found in the past couple of months that I have been talking to children, going into different schools to talk to them, even the educators, the one thing we find is our children are not having to deal with kid stuff anymore. They're not children anymore. Our children are having to face adult issues. For example, there were quite a few kids I know that had issues at school purely because they were worrying so much of the financial status of what was happening at home. They're worrying so much about what mom is feeling because mom's not feeling well. They're worrying about the security issues of the areas or neighborhoods. Instead of worrying about being a child in a school, they're worrying about adult things. So we ask our adults out there, why are we allowing our children to be so engulfed in what we should be dealing with? So when we are talking about this holistic multidisciplinary education, we need to talk about everything holistic about it. And that includes the mental health issues. I know in Africa right now, I mean, I've obviously there's some of us who are privileged enough to go to proper schools where there are chalkboards, you're in a classroom, you sometimes even have a fan, you have a desk, you have a chair, you have a teacher with a chalkboard. But I have been into locations here in Africa where I would do a feeding scheme and I would go and talk to educators and stuff. And I would watch an educator, a teacher, qualified, teaching children under a tree. And for me, that speaks volumes because that speaks passion, that speaks commitment, that speaks loyalty. That speaks to me that those children are so eager to want to learn and grasp something that they don't care where they sit, what the conditions are, they just wish to do this. And that educator is not caring about whether there is a fan on, whether there is a classroom, whether there is a chalkboard. That educator is just so passionate about the fact that they want to give this child whatever they can. So I ask every one of us that is out there who is a parent, are you really giving enough worth and credit to the educator right now? How often is it that you go to a school parent meeting and you find that the teacher would be telling the parent, you know what, this is about your child A, B, and C that I think we need to alter or we need to change. And the parent becomes upset with the educator. As opposed to saying, okay, how can I help you? They rather play the blame game. That child then feels that tension mount. The teacher then is blamed. Instead of parents working together, holistically working together, it takes the parent working with the teacher together with the child to give complete education, a complete holistic education, where we can allow our children to feel that it's okay. It's okay to make the mistake in a classroom. You don't have to be super perfect. And when we talk about this, we cannot ignore the fact we have obviously sat on many, I think Dr. Rashna ma'am and even Imam ma'am has also sat with me when we discussed many of the SDGs. And one of them, of course, we know is sustainable development education. And it is so key for us to understand exactly what is meant by this. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because if, for example, we talk about environmental education, we talk about environmental education, we know that we're teaching students about the environment. And then you'd have somebody come up and realize that all we are actually doing is teaching about that environment. Why can it not be that we can turn that around and rather say we should be teaching for the environment rather than about that environment? And remembering that every single child out there is not going to be the doctor, the engineer, the lawyer. The smallest things within that child, remember, the teacher is saying it. And you, as the parent, need to sometimes learn to listen to the child when the child speaks. Observe these things. Do not become so engulfed in this rat race of life that you are not there for your child. And then when your child is looking to social media to have the replacement figure and become closer to a teacher than they are to you, you find that offensive. So if you are a parent listening to me and you're resonating with what I'm saying, this is not to make you feel uncomfortable. This is for me to show you and make you aware, because the key factors we need to realize are that there are principles, yes, that we need to follow. I wish I could go on and talk about so much more, but I think the key factors for me are each one of us need to understand we have to transform and change, because we need to be able to empower ourselves and each other to make changes in the lives of ourselves, especially within the system of education, in the schools that are around us, in our local communities, because we need to understand that we need to learn all of our life. Every one of us will be learning all of our lives. I know for a fact, I started off with one. I didn't feel happy with that. I studied something else. This might just keep happening. And do not push the children to live out your dream. Allow for that child to live what they feel is good and their passion. And the only way to do that is to acknowledge them, to create the thinking methodology that allows for them to have the better future. Critical thinking for our children is so important. We need to allow for that. And for that to happen, we have to stop this philosophy that we have of where the child needs to just listen to me because I am the adult. Sometimes we need to listen to the children. Listen when they talk, observe what they are doing. It is so crucial and so key. I'm going to just, unfortunately, I'm not going to pursue too much more, but I will leave with this. And it's something that I teach all over whenever I'm trying to get messages across, especially regarding education and holistic education. Holistic really is it's about you transforming. The only way you can transform anything is if you know these 3 A's. Write them down. There's 3 A's. The A number one is for assessment. So right now, go and assess. Assess yourself, assess your home, assess your child, assess your environment. Go and assess within your community schools. Go and do a small assessment. Find out educationally within your surrounds, in your assessment, what do you find? What is neglecting? What is it that you can do, you yourself as the individual? Because remember, yes, we said just now, being the change is important, but the change starts by you becoming aware. And that's where number 2A comes in. So the first A was assessment. Do your full assessments and be honest about them. That leads you to number 2. Once you do these assessments, you are able to then be aware. You're aware of what is lacking. You're aware of what the risks are. You're aware of what needs to change. You're aware then of what you can do to bring the change that's needed. And the third A is advancing. If you are assessing properly and you have your assessment done, and I'm not talking about going onto Google to find whatever somebody's status means or what their stats are. I'm talking about your own personal one. Once you do this assessment, you will become aware. And once you become aware, you will then be able to advance yourself, advance your child, advance your family. That advances the community, that advances society and your nation both. And this is how we will be able to grow each other, grow and learn together, especially because we need to build and we need to really get into the mindset of what this holistic multidisciplinary education system means, because it affects and is about not just our children in a classroom. It is about every single one of us on a daily basis. You are learning every day. You are holistically needing to be in touch with yourself to get through the day. Your child is doing the same. That's what the educational system is about. So I will leave you with my 3 A's, that is assessment, awareness, and advancing. And I'd like to just say thank you again to everybody. And thank you to IDYM, and thank you again for listening to me and for allowing me this warm opportunity. I really do appreciate it. Assalamu alaikum, and warm greetings to everybody across the world that is listening to us, and to all of my colleagues here. Thank you so much, Sonal ma'am, Dr. Ashna, Dr. Iman, and I think Dr. Preeti, all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marine ma'am. First of all, the whole of IDYM team would like to salute you for what brought you here was your passion. You wanted to speak on, you wanted to empower everyone. And in spite of the challenges that you're overcoming and the strength that you have in you, you came on the platform with the zeal, with the passion. And we take a bow to you to create a wonderful learning collaborative program and empower each one of us. So I think let us all salute ma'am for being in the hospital and taking the lecture from there. Hats off to you, ma'am. We all give you all strength to recover fast, and I wish you all a speedy recovery very soon. So, covering what you have covered is actually like life skills in education. We all need life skills. The way you have implemented the minute traces of the inert gases like the helium and which are inert, which are not traceable. So these kind of things are missing in the therapy, and we all should collaborate together from the 7 C's, across the 7 C's, blending the education together and empowering each and every module of all the educators over here. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for being over here. And I would like to take the privilege to call my next speaker, who has been patiently waiting for a turn. And she is none other than Preeti Mehrotra. So, Preeti is the founder and chairman of Healing Towards Happiness, a group formed on 2nd September 2022, which aims to work and provide awareness to all age groups regarding anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, goal setting, etc. Preeti is the founder of a career planner. Preeti, an international certified coach recognized by CDA USA, NCDA USA, Mindler India. ICF recognized clarity and parenting coach, Coach to Fortune Foundation course by Arfin Khan. Certified soft skill trainer, Indian leadership skill ILA, train the trainer ILA, corporate trainer ILA. Registered resource and master trainer of All India Educator Forum, global membership ID. She has her own ID number. Advisory board member, program head, virtual and brand ambassador at Babar International Publication, that is BIP. She is a national team member and state vice president MP at Prithvi Abudhya Association PAAI. Senior career counselor, business development associate, and ambassador for career expert marathon at Kids Talento. Education ambassador at IIU, along with me, same. National coordinator at RxDS Talks, member of WICCI MP Coaching Council, and author of the book Accepting Children Unconditionally. I will love to read it. An educator with over a decade of expertise in teaching and education. Ma'am, you are a healer, you are a passionate counselor, and we love to hear you from what is actually holistic education from your point of view, ma'am. So please take the stage. I invite you to take the stage, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sonal ma'am, for giving us such a grand introduction. This is the first time I'm coming to this IDYM platform. But yeah, I'm known to everyone. Means I have heard Iman ma'am already. Rasha ma'am I met in Mumbai at Bahabad International, and Sonal ma'am maybe it's the first time we are meeting. But it's really a privilege to listen you and the add-ons you give to every speaker. That's really amazing. I really agree what Iman ma'am or I just forget the name, the previous ma'am name. She was so means fantastic, like the passion she has taken to speak just about the holistic, and the word she used at a holistic itself is a powerful. I do really agree. But if I say like in pandemic has taught a much lesson in many areas, like what she was talking about, the blame game, right? So being an educator, I can understand what she's talking about, that yes, parents used to blame the teachers earlier. But I have also seen that the same parents have come on the legs, and they have understood that it's not an easy task to control the children. Means like they have understood when everything comes on their head, and the teacher is just directing on the virtual platform. And when they really realize that it's very difficult to go through and to make the child sit and do the work, that is something they have realized, and they started having the compassion for the teachers and for the educators. So this pandemic has actually reduced that blame game, what I have observed. Though I am not in the education line anymore, means like I'm not an educator anymore in any of the institute, but yes, because my love for the children, I am not away from them, and that's the reason that I'm doing coaching and all, and I'm writing for the children. So this is the whole idea, means like I keep on writing on the children. Now coming to the holistic, something which creates the environment, what I feel, which creates the environment that where children can develop themselves. Like schools should have that environment where they can develop, the child should get an opportunity to develop him or herself. So it's basically it emphasize on the positive school environment where teachers are not just confining the students in the one classroom. They are just asking the child to do whatever is written, but they have really, I can say like now they have realized that even the schools and parents and teachers have analyzed that the comprehensive approach is required in teaching. It's not only now the core academics. On the base of core academic, a child can be as a good human being, I can say. So the 21st skills which we are talking every now and then, it's very important, whether it's a creative, whether it's a critical thinking or a collaboration and communication. And if we combine all this, it makes the holistic development of the child. So students are taught to reflect, not only just to grab the education. I was hearing Iman ma'am, then they were talking about the education. Like I have seen these big educators, when it comes to the practical knowledge, I have seen in India, educated people throwing papers from the car when they are traveling, right? So what is the real education? What we are teaching to our children? Just academic one? No, we are teaching. We want to inculcate those values, whether the teacher is there or not, whether anybody is observing them or not, but they are either following or not, whether they are really educated or not, whether they really understand what the education means. So that is more important, and everybody has now analyzed. So it's apart from the curriculum, we are no more looking into the grades. Even the companies, industries, they are not hiring the children of college students just based on their grades. Now they are looking at how they can help the organization in different areas, whether they have those skills, whether they have that critical thinking, problem solving. So this is all makes a child a holistic. And this, if we are able, as an educator, we are able to teach all these things to a child, that means the holistic development of that child. So for me, this is an holistic education. Now coming to I'm just talking about the as regard to the NEP, because it's more emphasizing on it. Though Rachna ma'am has given the specific knowledge about it, so I'm not going in depth of that, because she has really having an in-depth knowledge of it, in being in that education line. So I'll be just highlighting that what models one can use in their schools, or what strategies one can use where they can really help to understand holistic and multidisciplinary education. So like if I talk about the models which they can which can help to make a holistic education that is an experience learning. So whether in our curriculum experiential learning is there or not, whether we are giving that space to the child by doing that child is learning, right? And it's not something new. If we see the history of India, the Gurukul system, right? In the Gurukul system, everything was experience learning. The child was learning by their own. They means like from the very tender age, they are sent to the Gurukuls, and there only they are developing each and every skills apart from the apart from the academic or the what became the theoretical knowledge was very less. Right. So experience learning is something, a model which again we can reframe it, we can emphasize on where child is doing by themselves. They are getting the more of projects, and in the projects, not only the projects which are just designed by the teachers, but the choices to be given to the child so that he or she can actually use her or his method to do that particular project. So there should be a different choices where they can having a liberty to do that particular project in their own manner. Self-guided learning, like it happens like some like if we recall our times, like if many a times it happened, we are asked by our parents to do by our own, right? Nobody is behind us to do everything, and that this mouth feeding system has came from the education which we were going through in the last few decades, we can say. But if a child is doing by themselves, if something they are learning by their own, they maybe fail, they may again again they can learn it from the failures. So that is something, once they will learn from their failure, they will never forget in their life. So that is something, self-guided learning. Community schools, teachers can make a community where they can understand, or where they can involve parents, then different means like a different integrated system of different teachers from the different subjects, and they can develop the community over there where they are asked to learn from even like it's just a multidisciplinary coursework, like from the travel, from the research, from the field work. And these all models, I'm sure that it's going to give the holistic development, plus it is going to develop a child in his own way, and it is definitely going to groom the personality of the child. So the strategies which teachers can use in it, until and unless the teachers are having the bonding with the child, until and unless there is a good rapport between the child and the teacher, these methods are not going to work. So the basic thing what teachers or educators need to work is that how to resonate with each and every child, how to understand each and every child, how to make themselves at their place when they are emotionally down, when they are feeling low, how to encourage them, how to develop their confidence, how to motivate them to do certain things when they are failed in doing it in a right manner. So this only comes when there's a big rapport between the child and the teacher. And this can only help the child to motivate. Like if we take our examples, we will only listen to the person whom we are really connected with, or whom we think like, yes, if I talk to this person, he's or she is going to give an ear to my problem, right? So until and unless we feel a connection, until and unless we feel a rapport between that, we're not able to share anything. And that is required between the teacher and a child. Incorporating the emotional reflection is required. Means like there should be something where we are able to emotionally connect with the child. We can help the child to come over their fears. We can help the child to be outspoken what they have in their mind. So these strategies will only methods will only work when the teachers will follow the strategies what I'm just right now talking about. And definitely it is going to benefit, because it is going to not only improve the academic achievements, but also helps to enhance the mental and emotional well-being. If a child is confident, if a child is emotionally strong, then definitely that child is ready to do anything, and that too in a successful manner. And it will also develop the you can say the neurons and which helps to always release the dopamine, which is going to develop the happy and joyful personality. He will also understand the problem solving, how the one particular problem can be solved in a different manner. So there is not a one size fit. We need to understand this, as we are means like in the previous years, we keep on falling the one side. We are just telling we have taken the curriculum and we are teaching to the child in a one single way, and we are assessing the child on that manner, right? So now it's not going to work. We all have analyzed, we all have understood it very well. So one thing, if we are thinking like one size is going to fit everybody, it's completely wrong. So there should be different ways of assessment, as already mentioned by one of the educators. So there should be a different ways where like we can see the capability of a child to do that work. Maybe somebody can be slow, maybe one can grasp very quickly. So we have to understand the different abilities of the child, and it will definitely help to overcome their problem solving if they are having any weaknesses in that, and it will help to grow the problem solving ability, and it will definitely reduce the impact of inequalities. Now, coming to the, if I talk about multidisciplinary education, so definitely we all have a lot to discuss about it, right? Multidisciplinary education, we all have, if I recall my time, I want to study I'm liking bio, but I cannot take bio because with bio, we compulsory to take physics and chemistry, and I'm not good at that. So I have to take completely the humanities. And now the multidisciplinary is, the child is getting more an option. Now the engineering student can take a subject of humanities, or a humanities subject, child can take a as an optional subject as a math. So this is something new way which the education policy is thinking about, and it's going to benefit definitely, because it will help the students to learn and explore the distinct subject or a curriculum in various disciplines. So multidisciplinary approach, if I talk about an approach to the curriculum integration, which focuses primarily on the different disciplines and diverse perspective to illustrate the topic, theme, and issues. The multidisciplinary, if I talk about the curriculum, is one in which the same topic is studied from the different point of view for more than one discipline. So this is something NAP is focusing about. Now, definitely if we talk about any of the things, like if multidisciplinary approach or holistic approach, everything is having some advantages and some disadvantages. So if I talk about the advantages of the multidisciplinary approach in education, so it offers definitely the flexibility to choose the subject. Now the child is not confined, no only the PCM, the maths, physics, chemistry, only they have to study. Now there are a list of optional subjects where they can emphasize on their vocational trainings, also vocational subjects also. They can definitely work on their passion along with a degree. So helps the student to pursue their passion, definitely, along with the mainstream which they want to go for. Like if I talk about my daughter, she is very much passionate about the psychology, but on the other hand, she also wants to go with the music. So there's a good combination. Just understand, like a child is studying the psychology with the music, what a therapy or what all methodology he or she can, when she will grow old, she can use to guide the children or to bring them to overcome them from any of the pain if they are facing. And it also helps to develop the pragmatic attitude and helps to develop the collaborative teaching student relationship. No doubt there is many choices are there are a lot much distraction too, and so distraction can be taken away if we as an educator can make a guideline for the students and make a proper guidance with the counseling. We can give that after understanding the child what is the main passion about, and we can give a roadmap to the child that if you go in this way or if you choose this, then you can focus more on this, and along with this is your passion and you can take this subject, and definitely you have a bright future with this or bright career with this. So and nowadays if I talk about, there is no particular career meant where you want a particular degree. Now you can see the engineering students coming to the healing, NLP they are learning, or doctors they are learning NLP, or even as a humanities students they are learning NLP and they are working on the healing, they are working on the counseling. Now there are diploma courses where you take whichever the field you are coming from. If you take a diploma courses, you can take that particular line, right? So there is there are, we as an educator can definitely guide and bring the students out from the distraction if we think that there are so many options provided and may lead to the distraction. And definitely then we can make a person the master of one thing. Though if we talk about, because many educators have, or if I say that many people are talking about that no masters, only the jack. So definitely we can focus and we can make a ready map for the for that particular child. So for me, this is all about holistic and multidisciplinary education. I hope I'm able to address the right way. Thank you from my end.
Ma'am, you said that you're not an educator, so I wouldn't agree with that. You are a true educator, I will say, because it's not necessary that you need to be an educator to acquire a degree of MA, MA, or BA. Because most of the educators that I have also seen, the way you said, they throw the tissues out of the pay card, they throw the cans out of the car. That shows their holistic education first before they show the papers in the institutions. The way you conduct yourself in the society, the way you behave in the society, the way your personality speaks in the society. It's not about, okay, this is my degree, this is my doctorate, this is my multiple number of degrees. That is not going to count. The way you are going to present yourself, because I have seen most of the places when you enter a lift, always there is, when somebody is entering a lift and you are following the same person who is quite educated, qualified, will close the door in front of you rather than stop for you. Okay, the person is coming, let the person enter. That shows the person's education first. That in spite of the person who is in the lift is not ready to wait for you and takes the lift up without waiting for you, it shows where the education system is lacking. So you have actually narrated through examples, and there are certain many examples. People not obeying the laws, people let going कि हम तो ये है, हमारे पास तो ये qualification, हमारे पास तो power है. Your power is not going to be of any education. Your power is not going to be qualified. What you are, how you behave in the society. So we need to teach children on these levels. And as you said, children can blend to education. Most of the schools are having these aptitude tests. They assess the child from the standard 8th onwards. The child is good in maths. Okay, but he's not qualified in maths. His inclination is something else. If the person who is not interested in engineering wants to go for humanities, even if the person is qualified in science and other things, so it's not necessary कि मेरा बेटा डॉक्टर बनेगा तो वो डॉक्टर ही बनेगा because मेरा सपना था. So don't try to throw your dreams on the child. Let the child pursue. The way you said, they have to create their own roadmaps. Parents have to create their own roadmaps. Educators have to collaborate together. So it was a wonderful, enriching session with all and everyone. And let us all hope to create more such learning journeys. And we have Professor Bitkar, sir, for this today's insightful session. Sir, please welcome and have your inputs over here for all of us.
Thank you, Sonal madam. You are organizing very best for IDYM, and we are continuously a fan of this series and your organization. Today I cheered up Professor Rachana madam, Preeti Mehrotra madam, Iman madam, Merin madam. All were explained very nicely on this holistic education and interdisciplinary approach. Very appropriate topic to discuss, and everyone tried to support all these things, because education and holistic approach should go together. Education becomes educated, but this holistic education became a person, a cultured person. So without our degrees and powers, all these things, if we do something for society, living or forgetting power and the education, it will be more beneficial to the society. That is the output of this today's speeches. Thank you, madam, for giving me opportunity to say a few lines about this feedback. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much. And as we say, the journey must continue. The show must go on with more enriching speakers, more eminent speakers. I take gratitude and extend my heartfelt thanks to each one of you for being a wonderful speaker, for wonderful, insightful information on a practical approach method. Let us all create our own GPS. Let us all chart out our own journeys to create a collaborating learning system for each and everyone. Thank you, everyone, for being here, for being wonderful speakers. And the show must go on. Let us be together, support each other, and empower each other with wonderful learning and enriching sessions. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonal ma'am.
Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you.
Thank you so
Highly
much.
appreciated efforts. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Bye bye.